Hello everyone. Today we're going to start S3 some features like static website hosting, course, then lifecycle management, then other we can see other. So using S3 bucket, we can host a static website. So that static website means you can put your HTML file, CSS file, but not dynamic. You cannot communicate like you cannot do a dynamic website. Static website is possible for S3 using a S3 bucket. So let's see. I'll show you a demo. After that, we will discuss. So for this, we need to create one bucket and we'll upload some HTML files. So from our starting point, we need to create one bucket. So bucket name may be my website. Then maybe I can keep my account number because it should be unique. This is my AWS account number. Why I am keeping to make this bucket unique. Yes, choose bucket. Okay, for static website hosting, our bucket should be public access. So this bucket should be publicly accessed. So for this, I'm just disabling this, block all public access. Then bucket versioning, this is not required now. Create a bucket. Then I'm going to create one bucket. So this bucket has been created my website and this account number, right? So our second step, if you see, static, let me search on bucket policy. So we need to add some bucket policy for that also, right? We'll do that, and before that I need to make, there is the option to make this bucket as for static website hosting. So there is the option, go to the property, bucket versioning, static website hosting. Yes, this is the option, static website hosting. So we need to enable this, otherwise your bucket will not be a static website hosting. Edit, then enable. Now hosting type, you host a static website. Yes, so for that I need to add two files. One is index.html, one error.html. Index.html, the next is error. Save changes. So first I created one bucket, second is made it public, third is enable the static website hosting section, enable the static website hosting, and also I have mentioned about my index.html, and also I have mentioned my error.html. And the next step will in the permission. So in the permission I need to provide the bucket policy. So for this you can search here website access permission. So yeah, the steps is given, you can also use this, you can follow this step so that you can access. Let me paste this. Okay, you can copy this. Block public access. Yeah, bucket policy. You have to edit this and paste your policy. And you need to change your URL. This is your URL. I can change this URL. my website, this one. Right, save the changes. Yeah, now it's access, publicly access. So any data in this bucket can be accessible from the public. So anyone can internet can access your data because I made this bucket as public. So let's see. So maybe you need to upload two objects. Maybe. Okay, let's see. I've created some files. Maybe okay, 1 minute. Index.html. Just removing this. This is simple index.html file. The error HTML. Yeah, nothing is there. Okay, let me upload these two files and also one image. One of my image, I can upload this. So go to my website. Yeah, this is my bucket. So let's upload our files. Index and error. I will upload the image after this. So the compulsory file, the error.html and index.html has been uploaded. So let's see. Close. So this is properties. Then your static website, and this is my URL, right? So if I copy this and paste here, I can see my take web page demo. Right, this file is coming, but image is missing. Image is not coming. So let's upload my image. Object, upload, add file, then one image. Now image is uploaded. If I refresh this, I will see my image. This is a static website, so you can add any data or any HTML files, link HTML files. You can do whatever with this bucket, right? And how you are going to access? See, this is my bucket name, my website. This is the my bucket name, right? Then this is the S3 service. Then after that, Amazon will provide you with this one website. This website means this is a static website. Then your region, then Amazon AWS.com. And also you can link, if you have knowledge on HTML, you can also link some files and you can also work on it that way. Anyone having any questions? So next we'll see
Can
course.
you can you go to that website again?
Yes.
Okay.
You can also see, you can also use your own domain name if you want.
Yeah.
You can
So
create
if you
your own
don't
domain
want the
name.
domain name, then
Yes.
it will be always that region and then Amazon AWS.com.
You can map. like instead you can suppose I have created my domain like this way. So you can use this domain name and you can map in Route 53, so that if you whenever you click your domain name, this page will come.
Right.
Right. The
How
next
old
is
is that photo?
photo is 1 year old, I think.
You're getting younger day by day.
And no, this is the can say quality of camera. One professional photographer taken this photo.
Mhm.
Next is course. What is course? CORS. Course meaning is cross origin resource sharing. This is, I think, one important mechanism in web services to allow request to other origins while visiting the main origin. An origin, you can say an origin means where your website is hosted. One origin is just a scheme like protocol host like your domain and your port. For example, this is a one domain name, www.myorigin.com, and maybe it's using, as this is HTTPS, it is implied port is 443 for HTTPS, 80 for HTTP. And this course means cross origin resource sharing. Cross origin means this is one origin, maybe there will be another origin, and with both origin your resource means any web page or any photo, those sharing, you can say that is cross origin resource sharing. Web browsers based mechanism to allow requests to other origins while visiting the main origin. Same origin means your origin. This is one example of same origin, www main origin app1 or main origin app2. So if I communicate through app1 app2, that means I am communicating on the same origin. So for that there will be no problem. But if a different origin come, means there is source origin is, this is main origin, and if I communicate with other origin, in the red, see in the red color, other origin. So if I communicate one origin to other origin, there will be some problem to access their resource. The request won't be fulfilled unless the other origin allow for request. So using cross header. So you need to enable course so that other origin can access the resource of your origin. So for example, maybe I'll like suppose this is one origin and this is another origin. Origin means this will be like www dot abcd dot, this origin is www dot xyz.com, right? You can say suppose you are accessing this one, and as a user you are accessing this one, right? You can see this is a source origin and this is other origin, and some of this service want to access some, maybe some web page or maybe something, maybe some 1 minute, some HTML, or you can say some image or some page, right? This origin want to access from this origin, right? So now this is cross origin, one origin, and you need resource access, sharing the resource. This is called cross origin. So for this you need to enable cross origin CORS, otherwise you will not get access, you will not able to access the resource of other origin. So there is an option also for S3 for static website hosting. In the S3, there is also option to enable cross origin so that other origin can access your resources. So I'll show you. I'm just showing you. I'm not showing any demo. In the static website, maybe in the management, life cycle, inventory, cross, 1 minute, access point, permissions, bucket, yes, here is the cross origin. So you have to enable this cross origin so that other origin can access to your origin. So you need to, the request won't be fulfilled unless the other origin allows for your request using cross header. If a client does a cross origin request in your S3 bucket, we need to enable the correct cross header. So you need to enable. So in the internet you can get, suppose any other resource is trying to use your resource and cannot. So in that case, you can enable your course header. It is popular exam question. Yeah, this is a popular exam question. You can allow for a specific origin for star, and with the cross origin resource sharing policy enabled. So you have to add some cross origin resource sharing policy here. So you can find in the internet ECORS policy. You can find the policy also. Yes, this one. You need to add this. So in the permission, then cross origin resource, you have to copy and paste and mention which methods you are going to access. Get or head or whatever you want, you can provide. Here star means all request, all origins, sorry, all origins. And if you want to provide some specific origin, you can provide that path. Maybe you can provide this another bucket who are going to access, or another domain details you have to provide here. If it is star means any origin can access your S3 resource. Next is object lifecycle management. S3 object lifecycle can be managed by using a lifecycle configuration. This is means lifecycle management means how you are managing your object in S3. What is their life cycle? Suppose you have uploaded some high high volume of data, like maybe your size, maybe some TB of data, and every month you are paying, but you don't need that. Maybe after 1 year you don't need that because your company also generated new data. Older data is not required. In that case, you have to go there and delete all those data, right? And maybe sometimes you may forget, okay, but you are paying the bills for that because your data is there, and AWS is going to bill per GB per month, right? So in that case, you can set some rules, like if you are going to delete this data after some day, or whether I need to move this data to Glacier, right? So you can provide some object lifecycle rule in S3. So lifecycle configuration enables simplification of object lifecycle management. For example, moving of less frequently accessed objects, backups or archival of data for several years, or permanent deletion of the objects. So S3 controls all transition automatically. So if you provide some object lifecycle policy, so S3 will automatically controls everything automatically. Lifecycle management rules apply to one bucket that are applicable to all the existing objects. So you can provide your lifecycle management per bucket, and it will be applicable for every existing objects in the bucket, as well as the one that will added a new. So new object also applicable. So S3 object lifecycle management allows two types of behavior. One is transition, one is expiration. So transition in which the storage class for the object change. Expiration means where the object expire and are permanently deleted. So let's see one demo. So in the properties, you can go to the properties. One is bucket versioning, default encryption, server access logging, event notification, event crease, static website hosting. 1 minute. Management, yeah, it comes under management, right? So here you can create one lifecycle rule. Maybe you can give some lifecycle rule, maybe deletion of folder object, right? Limit the scope of this rule using the one or more filter, apply to all object. Okay, I can give all object for now, right? Here see the lifecycle rule action. Move current version of the object between storage classes. Move non-current versions of the object between storage classes. Expire current versions. Okay, I can delete, I can choose this, permanently delete non-current version of the object. So expire concurrent version of the object. Delete expire objects, object delete markers. Okay, I can keep this now, right? So permanently delete non-current version. So if your versioning is not enabled, so I will explain about versioning. So how you can enable versioning. So now non-current versions. So I can give some time, days after objects become non-current, number of newer objects to retain. Okay, I can give some days. Maybe it's minimum 90 days. I can give 90 days. So this is the rule, deletion of older objects. So after 90 days, suppose my object is kept for 90 days, and after the 90 days, the object will be deleted. All the non-concurrent versions are permanently deleted. So all the objects which is 90 days older will be deleted automatically. No need to come and see delete manually. So this is one type of, you can say, life cycle. And also you can change some, suppose I am using standard version, S3 standard, and I want to move to S3 infrequent part, infrequent storage class. I can also do that. The lifecycle management, you can create another rule, and maybe you can give some move storage class. I can specify all and move current version of object between storage classes, right? I can select this. So your choose storage class transition. So I can move to glacier, or I can move to one zone storage class, because this is very you can say the cost is less. One zone IO cost is less compared to standard storage, right? So I can give like some 90 days, after 90 days or after 400 days I can remove, right? Our transition. 1 minute. No. So I can create another rule. So my first rule is 1 minute. Management. Yes. So after 90 days, the entire bucket will be moved to one zone IA. Right. So for non-current versions, it will permanently delete. For current versions, it will move to this one. Any questions? We will see encryption. Encryption in S3. So anyone knows encryption? I think all of you know what is encryption.
In one of our previous class, we already discussed little
Yes,
bit.
yes. We little bit discuss in EBS volume. We have encrypted EBS volume. So there we have
Data at
discussed.
rest, something we discussed.
Yes, yes. EBS volumes we encrypted. Also snapshots. We have encrypted the snapshots. So here we can use encryption for our S3 objects. So there are 4 methods of encryption objects in S3. One is SSE S3. Encrypt S3 objects using key handled and managed by AWS. SSE S3. Server side SSE means server side encryption S3. And this key is handled and managed by AWS. Next is your SSE KMS. SSE means server side encryption, KMS means key management system. One service from the AWS side is KMS. That service is used to manage your encryption keys. So AWS key management service to manage your encryption keys. Next is SSE-C. SSE-C means server side encryption. C means client. When you want to manage your own encryption key, so the client will going to manage the keys. The next is client side encryption. Client side encryption means suppose you are using your AWS S3 and you are a client. So you are encrypting at your end before uploading. So you have some applications and you know that you are not trust on AWS encryption. So you want to encrypt at your side, right? So you are going to encrypt at your own. Then after encryption, you are upload to S3. And also while decrypting means you are downloading from S3 and decrypt at your end. It is important to understand which one are adapted to which situation for them. So we'll discuss one by one. SSE S3. So encryption using keys handled and managed by S3. So every object is encrypted with a unique key that will be managed by your S3, Amazon S3. Object is encrypted server side. So your every encryption will be at server side means at S3 bucket side. AWS rotating the keys. So this is responsibility of your AWS S3. They are rotating the keys, encryption keys time to time. They are using AES 256 encryption type. This is a standard encryption type. They are using that. So must set header this Amazon service side encryption to AES 256. This is done by your AWS S3. So let's show you one example. Okay, I'm deleting this. Delete. Okay, leave it. So properties. Yes. The encryption, default encryption is disabled. So edit, enable. See, first is your Amazon S3 managed keys. This is SS3, SSE S3. This is the first that we are discussing. So if I save this, your data will be encrypted at server side. Now my data will be encrypted at the server side. Next is your SSE KMS, server side encryption using your key management service. Encryption using keys handled and managed by KMS. Those keys will be handled and managed by KMS service of AWS. KMS advantages, what is the advantage? User control and audit trail. You can, in future you can audit. Object is encrypted at server side. Yes, must set header like your X Amazon server side encryption is equal to AWS KMS. So in the previously it was AES 256. AWS KMS allows you to view any failed attempts to access data from users who did not have permissions to encrypt the data. So those details you can able to view, but your KMS is you have to pay for those keys management. So this is not a free service, but the AWS S3, those encryption is free, but this is chargeable. So let's show you. I'll show you. Yes, you can edit this, and instead now I have selected AWS S3, SSE S3. Instead you can use this KMS. So for that you have to like create a key, and that is chargeable. SSE SSE means server side encryption using data keys fully managed by the customer outside the AWS. So in this case, you are managing the key, client is managing the keys, but this is server side encryption. You have to provide the key so that your encryption occur using your keys. Amazon S3 does not store the encryption key you provide. So Amazon S3 don't have responsibility for the key, but you are providing your key, own key. So in this case, HTTPS must be used. Encryption key must provided to HTTP header for every HTTP request made. AWS will do the encryption or decryption of your objects while you maintain full control of your keys used to encrypt, decrypt the object in the Amazon S3. So you are managing the keys, but AWS will do the encryption, decryption. Right. The next is client side encryption. The client side encryption is there will be no server side encryption. Your responsibility to create your encrypted data. So you will use some client library. Amazon using their library for the encryption, but in this case you will use your client library for your S3 encryption client. Maybe you can use S3 encryption client. Client must encrypt data themselves before sending to S3. Client must decrypt data themselves while retrieving from S3. So encryption decryption is your responsibility in case of client-side encryption. Customer fully manages the keys and encryption cycle. So the demerit is you have to manage the keys at your own. If you lost means your data will be there, but after downloading, if you decrypt means you need a key. You have the following two options for using data encryption keys. So use AWS KMS manage customer master key, or you can use also client side master key. So I'll show you the difference. In case of Amazon SSE S3, so everything will managed by your AWS S3. Your key will be managed and your encryption will manage. But in case of SSE KMS, so you will use KMS service for your key management, but encryption done in server side. Option 3 means you will manage your encryption keys, but encryption will in server side. In the Case 4, client side encryption. You will do both encryption and manage the keys. Right? Any questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Next is Amazon S3 versioning. So maybe suppose you have uploaded one object, right? And maybe 3 to 4 days you are going to upload the same object with some difference, like your source code, right? You are using some source code in a Git repo or maybe some other SCM tool, right? Similarly, you can also enable versioning in your S3, and you can maintain the same file with different versions, and whenever you require you can retrieve your older versions as well as new versions. And also if you delete any versions, you can also you will have older versions, right? So let's discuss about versioning. So you can version your files in Amazon S3. So it is enabled at the bucket level. Same key override will increment for version 1, version 2, version 3. So I'll show you a demo. It is best practice to version your buckets. Protect the benefit is protect against unintended deletes, ability to restore a version. So easy rollback to previous versions. So you can also roll back your previous version. Notes. Any file that is not version prior to enabling versioning will have version null. So suppose you are having already existing data in your bucket and you have not version yet, right? And now after some day you are trying to versioning. So the new object will be comes under versioning. The older version will be like version null. Suspending versions does not delete the previous versions. So if you suspend now, suppose you have enabled version and after some day you suspended your versions, that doesn't mean you will lose your previous version data. So their previous version data also be there. So you get demo. Okay, I can use this data, right? And I am enable the version properties bucket versioning, right? You have to enable the versioning here, edit, then enable, right? I'm enable the version. I'll show you how AWS is going to maintain your version, right? So for that I need to add some file. Maybe here I can, okay, here is some file temp.txt. Okay, I'm already created one version, right? So maybe this is version 1, control S. I'm going to upload this, control C. Oh yeah, here, upload, right? And after some time, maybe after some time, I have changed my data and I have written version 2. I have written some data and I'm uploading again. The same file I'm uploading again, temp. And again I'm going to create another version, maybe version 3, and I'm using some data. Right, and now I'm going to upload the next version data. Add files, upload. Right. So let's see all the objects. So if I select this index.html and at that time there is no versioning enabled, right? If I see the version, there will be null. This is a very important question. In null, current version is null, right? And but I enable the version and uploaded the this file temp.txt. If I see the temp.txt and go to the versions, see there are three versions. One is version, this is the first version, this is the second version, and this is the current version, right? And suppose I want to get this data, download this data, the first version data, right? Okay, let's create an folder. Okay, and download one by one. So okay, this is which version? This is the first version, right? We open this is the version 1. Delete this. Okay. Then I am going to download the latest version. This is the latest version. Version 3. This version is 2. Oh, this is the latest version. This has been updated. And let's delete this. Delete this. And if I download this version, this is the second version. See, this is the second version. If I see this, the version 2. Right. So in this way, we can maintain the versions. But for the older objects, there is no version. But now, if I upload any data, there is no version C. But if I upload any error.html now, that can be comes under versioning. Suppose S3, then error, then edit, error, version 1 or 2. If I upload this, upload files, error. If you go here, error. If you see the version, you will see two versions now. This one, current version, and the previous, which is not, which is null, means during this upload, there was no versioning added to your S3 bucket. But after that you have added and you upload the another version, so it is showing this is the current version and this is the null. Any questions?
Just do a little bit practice and it's
Yes, yes,
easy. You can
yes.
understand.
Yes, you need to do some practice, and where it is applicable. Maybe people may say where is applicable. Suppose you are maintaining some repository in your S3. Maybe you are storing some Docker files or container files where you are going to deploy in your ECS cluster or your EKS cluster. In that case, you can use your Amazon S3 versioning. Okay, next is okay. You can try practice, and if any questions, then let me know. Next is MFA. Okay, we can. I think we can stop now.